Concept: Bubble economy. The bubble economy refers to the phenomenon of false prosperity that is formed when the virtual economy grows excessively and ultimately detaches from the support of the real economy. Eventually, the bubble bursts, causing social upheaval and even economic collapse. There are 3 stages of the bubble economy. The formation stage of the bubble. When the virtual economy begins to expand, mainstream economists believe that this is not a bad thing. Positive expectations for future development among the public will stimulate the development of the real economy, eventually catching up to fill the bubble. The expansion stage of the bubble. Although asset prices have already exceeded their value, the group imagination has formed, and as more people continue to profit, this group imagination is reinforced, causing the bubble to grow larger. Even if some people realize the risks, they may not be able to resist the temptation and try to benefit from the bubble, becoming co-conspirators in the expansion. The collapse stage of the bubble. The number of people and capital that can take over the assets is always limited. When trading slows down and prices begin to stagnate, the bubble will eventually burst. Asset prices return to rational levels, and many people go bankrupt. Those who exit in the middle and make money are all from those who did not have time to withdraw. This mechanism of forming a bubble based on group imagination is very similar to a classic financial scam, the Ponzi scheme. However, behind the Ponzi scheme, someone uses all their wits to construct a story that makes everyone imagine the valueless assets. In the bubble economy, this group imagination is spontaneous, so the bubble economy is also known as a spontaneous Ponzi scheme. Case 1. In September 1985, the finance ministers of the United States, Japan, Britain, France, and Germany signed the famous Plaza Accord at the Plaza Hotel in New York, agreeing to devalue the US dollar. At the same time, the Bank of Japan adopted loose monetary policies to stimulate the economy, leading to a large influx of funds into the Japanese real estate market and a skyrocketing of real estate prices. As prices rose, more people bought, and as more people bought, prices continued to rise. By 1989, Japanese real estate prices had reached absurd levels. At that time, the total land value of Japan, which had an area equivalent to only California in the United States, was already 4 times that of the entire United States. The land value of Tokyo alone was equivalent to the total value of the entire United States. The average Japanese person could not afford to buy a home even with a lifetime of savings. In 1991, the bubble burst with a bang. Real estate prices immediately plummeted, the Japanese real estate industry collapsed, individuals went bankrupt, and businesses went bankrupt, leaving bad debts of up to $600 billion. This bubble also triggered the longest economic recession in Japanese history, and people often refer to this real estate bubble as another defeat for Japan after World War II, considering the 1990s as Japan's lost decade. Case 2. In 1637, a Dutch merchant bought dozens of tulip bulbs for more than 6,000 Dutch guilders. At that time, the annual expenditure of a Dutch family was only about 300 Dutch guilders. Even if you traveled through time and space to remind him that this was too outrageous and that tulips were bound to fall, he would not believe it. Because as he walked from one end of the street to the other with these tulip bulbs, the price had already risen 3 times. The tulip bubble eventually burst, and millions of people lost everything. Reason: why do people fall into the bubble economy? Doesn't anyone see this terrible bubble economy? Isn't there an early warning mechanism? Who should be responsible for this? In fact, people in the bubble economy cannot see the bubble. Because this so-called bubble is everyone's common imagination. Everyone's unrealistic confidence motivates each other, conspires, and creates a bubble economy. In other words, you and your most rational friends have created a terrible bubble economy together. The bubble economy is like Chinese-style crossing the road, where you can cross the road as long as you have enough people, regardless of traffic lights. Summary: why talk about this topic? Learning business logic can make people rational. But we also need to have awe for human nature. Even if we achieve great success in the business world, we must always remind ourselves of what sustainable growth is and what the bubble economy is. We must always ask ourselves, am I the person who spent 20 years of income to buy tulips?